Oh, how the times have changed. What's up, guys? Everything Apple Pro here, and I wanted to make a short little video, a little observation about the iPhone 7 Plus. It's a bit funny because in the last year or so, I've been noticing so many design cues taken from Apple being copied by other manufacturers. And at first I thought, hey, it's not a big deal, it's just these small phone companies. And now as bigger phones like the OnePlus 5 are adopting the styling of the iPhone 7 Plus, I feel like I'm going a little bit crazy noticing this. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about it for a minute here. So, it really makes me think back. Back in the day when the iPhone came out, a lot of companies tried to distance themselves from Apple's design as much as possible. I mean, the Nexus series, a lot of the big smartphones, Samsung, and I'm not saying those are copying, but it's like the whole idea was to be different than Apple. People kind of hated on Apple for being so locked in, and everyone else just wanted to say, hey, our phone looks different, is different, the software is different, and that's the case. Nowadays, I'm seeing a huge shift in manufacturing where everyone wants to be Apple. And as an example here, I'd like to share with you some manufacturers that are copying Apple with their design. And feel free to tell me if they're not copying, because I personally see the iPhone 7 Plus slightly tweaked, slightly altered, but the same fundamental design in all of these models. I mean, this is just some of them. There are a ton of new ones, but let's go ahead and start with the OnePlus 5. This is the one that made the biggest news. Everyone said, they're copying Apple with the design, with some of the features, the colors even, if you may. And I tend to agree on that one. It's pretty similar. Let's get into some others. I mean, people may have ridiculed the OnePlus 5 for being incredibly similar. Look at the Oppo R11. This thing is like a clone, a copy of the iPhone, just rebranded. It's got the same antenna bands, the same camera module, the same look in general, even the same color choices as the iPhone. Not all of them, but all the colors that it does have match the iPhone. So I think that one is particularly funny. Let's just skim through these. There are so many. I was actually thinking to buy all of them and just review them on camera, but that would have been like $3 to $5 grand. So I'm like, let's not do that. So we've got the Zenfone 3 Zoom, another very similar design. The Honor V9, and they tweaked this one a little bit, made the camera lens a little bit thinner. And some of these do have like a fingerprint sensor in the back where the Apple logo would go, but the placement is very, very similar here. And I'm going to talk about why I think they're doing this, but we've also got the Doogee Pro, another model of the Doogee, the Oukitel U20 Plus, the Cubot Rainbow 2, ZTE Nubia Z17, UMI Digi Z Pro, the Ulefone Gemini Pro. Man, these names, if you really start to notice the pattern, they're more of other market phones. We don't really know any of these brands. And the big reason I think why a lot of these companies are doing this is because of image. They see how well Apple's phones are selling, and they're cloning theirs to look like Apple's on the rear, where people are going to be seeing where your image in public matters, where you're holding this thing and people look at it and like, oh, hey, that might be an iPhone, and they may treat you differently. I don't know how it is really, to what extent. I know in America, nobody gives a crap about what phone you have, but I know some relatives of mine really, really want iPhones in Russia, in Europe, some of my friends' relatives, it's just like, wow, it's ridiculous how much it matters to have a phone there that's very expensive. Some people will literally cheap out on all other areas of life just to get a smartphone. And it's like several months of pay for them to get the iPhone 7 Plus, and they really can't afford it in some cases. So they'll go for phones that look like them, I guess. I mean, and it's kind of funny because when the iPhone 7 Plus was coming out, people would make fun of it for looking like the Bender phone. There was no way Apple would release the phone that would look like this, and yet here it is. It came out and everyone is now replicating that look. Not everyone, but many people. You guys know what I mean. Now with the iPhone 8, everyone is making fun of it for the traffic lights. So I guess we're going to have to see how that goes with time. As people are going to be copying that one, we're going to be seeing more and more vertical looking dual lens cameras on the corner, not in the middle, not anywhere else, just in the corner, because a lot of people are going to try and replicate that look again. Now, it's true, there's not too much you can do with a dual lens camera. How many orientations can you put it in? I mean, there aren't many, but still some companies do manage to make their very own unique look for a dual lens camera. Take the LG G6, for example. Yeah, it looks a little bit like an alien, but it does have a unique look for the dual lens camera. Even the logo placement isn't smack dab in the middle where the Apple logo would be. They placed it down here, so it's got a very unique look going for it. Some Some of the models of Huawei do have very unique lens design, just two individual circles. The Archos 50 and 55 graphite, the ZTE Blade V8, and even the leaked Note 8 design. They all have pretty unique cameras. So you can make a unique look for a dual lens camera. Not everyone has to copy Apple, but still a lot of companies are going in that direction, which I find funny. I think we're going to be seeing more and more of that in the future. Last thing I wanted to show you guys real quick is in the flesh a copy of one of these phones that are replicating the more expensive iPhones that aren't necessarily an iPhone clone, just a lookalike. All right, guys, I'm going to show you the alternative to an iPhone 7 that's worth about $80 US. So if you want to rock the look and have people think you own an iPhone 7 without actually paying the price, this is how to do it. And the reason I kind of do like these phones, they're better than clones, that's for sure, just because they're not trying to be something they're not. They're a purely Android phone. They don't run the Android or the iPhone skin. So you're getting the true Android experience just with the look outside of the iPhone. The UMI Digi G. On the front, it may not look the same, but let's take a look inside. This is honestly probably much better than any iPhone 7 clone you can buy. It's cheaper than them too, which is kind of funny. It does come in the case with a screen protector on it. Cool. But you guys can already see it's immediately looking just like an iPhone 7. We've got the same raised camera. It's a little bit more in the corner, which is interesting. The same flash unit right next to it. The antenna band design is identical here. Ports are up here. It does have a headphone jack. The headphone jack could have totally been possible in the iPhone 7 design. Just to give you an example of what this is from the iPhone 7 side. There are so many more iPhone 7 Plus clones, but man, people really want to look like they're using an iPhone without necessarily having the OS experience of one. All right, guys, so just to wrap this up, I wanted to say, it was just an observation I had that I wanted to share with you, something I found funny, how everything is in a complete reversal. Back in the day, people, laughed at Apple's design. Now everybody is replicating it just because of the success that Apple has had. And even though these designs may look ridiculous, the iPhone 8's vertical camera, people will still be copying it come 1 year from now just because of how well it's going to sell. So, to these companies, be unique. You don't have to copy Apple to be successful. The features will speak for themselves. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys agree down below in the description. If not, also let me know. I'm curious. Peace.